Good morning, welcome back to the vlog, and welcome back to another great day here in Papua New Guinea. My name is Ryan, and today we're out here at Aibai. I've never been out here with you guys before, and this is actually my first time by myself here. So we're heading out of here up to Mount Hagen and then on to Gurumpin. So stay tuned, this is going to be a good one. Going into Gurumpin and stuff, and coming out of here, this is an 11% slope, so it's a proper mountain airstrip. Alright, go ahead and get started. The pump, igniters. The fuel is on. Low start over 14%. Reduce my fuel. And ITC is going to come up a little bit quicker and a little bit hotter because I just shut down about 20 minutes ago. Just a little over 700, so. Generator on, prop, V2, alternator and aux bus. But yeah, it's a 21-minute flight up to Hagen and then like another 8-minute jump over to Gurumpin. We're the blue dot today, out here at Aibai, and we will basically follow up this around the corner and then on to Mount Hagen, and then over to Gurumpin is just back over here somewhere. So, Dang, 65908 November Tango Zulu taxi. November Tango Zulu taxi, Aibai to amended destination Mount Hagen, below 8,000. 1 POP, November Tango Zulu. Stations Aibai 120.1, November Tango Zulu, taxiing Aibai for Mount Hagen below 8,000. So this airstrip is super rough and just kind of bouncy all over the place. Because it's so steep, you can see like a lot of the grass is just kind of washed off and it's just dirt, which also allows for ruts as the water runs down the hill because the grass isn't really holding the ground in there together. Alright, sliding down. I just have it in beta right now. I'll throw my brake on just so I don't have to hold the brakes the whole time. I'm going to go ahead and start up my radar. Not that I'm using it, but just putting on standby to get the gimbals going. This is the only plane that has it. Alright, fuel caps and selectors. Our controls are good. We've turned Betty off for takeoff here so she doesn't yell at us. Switches and instruments, I'm empty, but let's go to our aux page, 5100, so rotate it's 53. And 61 if I had to come back in for an emergency or something. Flaps and radar, flaps are set at 20, indicated and verified. Going to abort, consider trim up. If we do need to abort, pretty much. Really on brakes release will be our committed, but I'm going to go, because it's dry out today, I am empty. I'm going to say airspeed alive by the second cone right up there, which is not that far up, probably 70 meters maybe a little bit less, 60 meters. Alright. Reverse heavy braking, flaps up, cut off, pull off, and shut off if we are going off to the left after takeoff. Pitch for 85, consider EPL, consider feather. Right hand turn to lower terrain. 80 full flaps, cut off, pull off, and shut off. My emergencies, crack my door in case the fuselage bends when I hit the ground. That's why I do that. And we'll make our mayday call in 65908. Right. Igniters, inlet, and a light. Already done our SAR. We're at 6,400 right now. It's 24 degrees out. It's actually probably 20 because I have the exhaust going over right now because I'm in beta. So 20 degrees, 6,000, 1390, so 1340. 1340, ignition, condition, flaps 20, fuel and harnesses. Close complete. I'm just going to lock my elbow in here. It's going to be bouncy, but that way I can just hold the nose wheel nice and steady. Alright, we're going. Speed's alive, continuing. Airborne.
Don't sink.
Yes, thank you. Alright, we'll just climb out to 740. I'll put this on the bigger map page so I can see what valley. It's the next hill over here. We'll go around this hill. There's quite a few clouds kind of just mixed all in with the valleys, but I think once I get around here, we'll be able to see around it a little bit easier. It won't be that bad. Alright, let's go ahead and bring my prop back to 2000 RPM. And 720 in ITT, we're only going up another 1,000 feet up to 8,000 feet because it's only like a 21 minute flight. I actually want to head out that way, so it looks nice that way. So my plan is, Chengdu is right out there, so the valley kind of goes up and then wiggles out there. So I'm just going to head kind of more in between Yabol, which is an IFR reporting point, and Chengdu. I can see it's blue, it's going to be nice out there in the Wagi Valley, and then I'll just kind of hug the edge of the Wagi Valley all the way up to Mount Hagen. Right, landing light off, bypass, back to normal, and our ignition is turned off. Now that we're in that safer area, throw our pilot on real quick and give him a call. Heading 65908, November Tango Zulu departure. November Tango Zulu departed Aibai, time 47, tracking 2907 on climb not above 8,000, estimating Hagen 08. Number Tango not above 8,000. So my original plan for today was to head out to Aibai, back to Gurumpin, get some fuel, the dog cage, and as well as some extra seats, and head up to Gurumpin and then back to Gurumpin. But it worked out that I was able just to throw the extra weight on this flight and fly up to Hagen and get fuel because it's only another 8-minute flight over to Gurumpin. Overall, it will save me about 20 minutes of aircraft time, and yeah, it will save these missionaries a little bit of cost as well included. So yeah, it works out for everybody. Gets me home 20 minutes earlier in the day. Alright, let's go ahead and climb up to 8,000 now that it's nice and beautiful. Alright, I need to figure out, okay, yep, it's going to be the Cooley Gap. So as I come into Mount Hagen, I'm going to be coming in right over Cooley right there. And there's a gap, so I just need to refresh my memory on what it was actually called. So what I'm planning on doing is just heading right up to the Cooley and then come in, and I'm guessing I'm coming around in like that. So let's go ahead and bring up Mount Hagen Airport. This is ForeFlight, if you're not familiar with what this app is. So the two runways that we will be using are going to be basically 12 and 30. They have 0826, but I've never used it, and I don't know if I've ever seen anybody use it actually. So yeah, it's a really long runway, 7,100 feet long, nearly 7,200 feet. The elevation touchdown is going to be 50, right around 5,400 feet almost for both sides, 5,300 for the other side. And their ATIS is 128.4. I'm not 100% sure it actually works though. So their tower is 1205. We'll set that up now just to have it ready.
Okay. 104,
and we'll just drop on down to 6,000 just to get under this little cloud layer ahead of us here shortly. The cameras probably don't pick it up very well, and I'm not sure how full over it is up there, but I'd rather just get underneath of it now and not have to worry about it if it is a thicker layer once we get up a little bit further on up.
November Tango Zulu, 6598.
November Tango Zulu, go ahead.
Tango Zulu, traffic out of Hagen, Kilo, Sierra Tango, Twin departed Hagen for Moresby at 52, check out where Wolf Gap climb not above 13,000, estimate our go for at 28.
Copy Kilo, Sierra Tango, November Tango Zulu.
Tango Zulu approaching 15 miles Hagen, contact Hagen Tower 1205.
120.515, November Tango Zulu. We're now 18 miles to run Mount Hagen, and I still don't have any ATIS at all, so when I give them a call, I'm expecting them to just go ahead and give me the ATIS, what the winds are, what the altimeter setting is, things like that. So let's go ahead and give them a call now, 120.5. Mount Hagen Tower, Kodiak November Tango Zulu. Might not hear me well enough because there's a mountain in between us, so let me give it 2 more miles and see if we can't get a hold of them again. Hagen Tower 120.5, Kodiak November Tango Zulu 15 miles in the Wagi on descent, your circuit 05.
Tango Zulu runway 30, wind variable at 3 knots, QNH 1019. Turn circuit right base runway 30.
1019er, turn circuit right base 30, November Tango Zulu. Alright, as we're 13 miles out, I'm going to hit my OBS, turn it to runway 30, it's going to put a nice little line there, show me the orientation of the runway. She said turn circuit right base, so I'm going to come through the little coulee gap, which is going to put me right, basically turning into a base for 30. H1019er, let's get in the habit of throwing it up on my secondary as well. 0 miles out. I'll start my checklist. For landing, fuel selectors and brakes are good. We'll leave our TAWs inhibited because we'll be coming through the coulee gap pretty low, and we don't need any letting us know that we're too low. Our VREF, we come over to the aux page, we're 5,000 pounds, so 60 to 61 knots at the slowest. We'll just keep it at 61. Our lights in our inlet, we're within 10 miles, so let's throw our landing light on. We're a little bit low as far as to the ground terrain, so I'll throw my engine inlet into bypass. In case there's a bird flying around to the top of these little ridges or something, if it gets sucked in, it will just spit out the bottom of the aircraft. So the touchdown zone for runway 30 was 53, I think 35 or so, so I'm going to put 6,300 feet for my pattern altitude. So I want to be turning 500 feet above, so 5,800 feet above my altitude. So one thing you can do, I do if it's in bad weather or if it is a circuit that doesn't really have, like if it's over a big open valley or something and there's not like a certain area that you can say, oh, here's exactly what I want to be and I don't want to drop down. You can also set up your minimums, like if you were flying in an instrument approach, you can set up your minimums. Let me do that real quick just so I can show you what I'm talking about. Set up your baro, feet, and then whatever you want. So it said 5,800 feet. You can even put 5,830. 5,830. Then once I hit 5,830, where I should be turning my final, and it will say minimums, and it's just a nice little cue, especially if you are flying in the mountains, there's lots of clouds, you want your eyes outside 99% of the time. It's nice to set little things like that up so that you don't have to continually be looking in here. Alright, lights and inlet are done. We're 6 nautical miles out. I'll be coming through this. This is the coulee gap right here. Go ahead and start slowing down. Even though I'm 6 miles out, I'll be entering into my base here shortly. Do need to go around to power up. 20 degrees of flaps, pitch for 73, maneuver is required. Alright, prop and harness is done. Abort is done. Oh, I didn't finish the abort. Go around 20 degrees of flaps, maneuver is required, and reset torque at 740 on the ITT. Alright, below 138 knots, 10 degrees of flaps. I'm going to be turning into my base at 6,000 feet, just 200 feet before I want to turn my final. 20 degrees of flaps. Hagen Tower, November Tango Zulu, right base 30. Hagen Tower, November Tango Zulu on the right base, runway 30.
November Tango Zulu, runway 30, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 30, November Tango Zulu. Alright, Alright, clear to land. Do full flaps now. Checklist is complete. And it looks like I'm about 100 feet higher than I wanted to be. Alright, turning final now.
Minimums. Minimums.
There's my minimums. That's my 500 feet.
500.
I have half the runway torn up here, so it's like, yeah, literally half of the runway is torn up. So I'm going to be landing on the far end of it down there.
November Tango Zulu, clear the backtrack, cross runway 0826, vacate taxiway Bravo.
Backtrack and vacate Bravo, November Tango Zulu.
November Tango Zulu, runway 30, make right 10, clear for takeoff.
30, right turn, clip takeoff, November Tango Zulu. Alright, here we go. Alright, airspeed's alive, there's rotate. Bit of a crosswind. And got some low clouds right up here, so we'll just take a little bit earlier right-hand turn out once we get up just a second. And nose over, climb out at 85 knots. I'm going to go ahead and start up my right turn now. Right, over 85 knots. Go 10 degrees of flaps. We're just heading over to Gurumpin. It's just an 8-minute flight over here. Over 90 and climbing, 0 degrees of flaps. And bring our prop on back to 2000 RPM and our ITT to 720. Alright, we don't really need to go up much higher, we're just going up to 7,000, even though the circuit I think is around 5,000 foot or something like that. So let's go ahead and hit our heading mode and throw in our autopilot to climb up to 7,000 so we can give our departure call here. Hagen Tower, November Tango Zulu, departed time 5-4, tracking 075, below 7,000, Gurumpin 05.
November Tango Zulu, Secretary Gurumpin, contact meeting 120.1, contact 65908.
120.16598, Gurumpin, November Tango Zulu. Alright, we can go ahead and turn our igniters off. I'm going to go ahead and leave my engine inlet to bypass my landing lights on just because, I mean, it's only like 13 miles away, so there's really no point in doing that. Go ahead and bring up the strip chart though. So Gurumpin's elevation's 5,050, so I'm going up to 7,000. I'm going to be immediately going right back down, so we can set up our pattern altitude at 6,100. Link 770 meters, it's super long, it's like a golf course. It's super draggy, and which is great for landing, but for takeoff it's just absolutely terrible. The winds are always, seems to be a tailwind takeoff, so it's just a 1.5% slope going up for landing and kind of sort of going down for takeoff. And we've got some trees on short final. I've talked to them last time, I've talked to them the time before, and they just don't seem to be cutting them down. So it might be getting closed here eventually if we cannot get those trees cut, just because they're continuing to grow and they're right in the way. All right, bring my torque back to 1,250 foot-pound of torque. My trim set up. Right, and also, I forgot to look, the runway direction is going to be runway 34, so we're 8 miles out. I'm going to go ahead and make a quick call. All stations, Gurumpin 120.1 in the Wagyu Valley. Kodiak November Tango Zulu 8 miles to the west, below 7,000 circuit for Gurumpin on the hour. Right, so we're landing runway 30. Let's just OBS it right now. So 340. The runway is basically that way. I'm coming directly at it. I'm going to be flying overhead, just do a 180 around, so. Go ahead and start in my descent. It's already bumpy. The winds are coming from this direction, which is good. Well, not really, because it'll be takeoff. It'll be tailwinds on takeoff, so we'll see. All right, going down to 6,100. Let's go ahead and hit our selectors, and our brakes are good. Turn Betty off for landing. Which is our TAWS, our VREF. We are 5140, so approach. Our VREF is going to be 61 knots. Heading 120.1 November Tango Zulu.
November Tango Zulu line, go ahead.
November Tango Zulu in the circuit, Gurumpin. Report after landing and requesting area QNH, please.
November Tango Zulu 1010.
1010, thank you. All right, just 3 miles out, reduce our power back to around 450 foot-pound of torque. Usually 350 to 450 will be a good torque number to do your patterns at if you are flying these on the flight sim. And if you want to fly this one even to this location, I believe, I know we have it for X-Plane, someone made it. One of my patrons as well, and I think it'd probably be on the new Microsoft Flight Sim as well. So, if you're interested in doing some flights like this, check out my Patreon page down below. I'll leave a link to that with some flights that you can try out. All right, there's our pattern altitude, 6,100 feet. Just gonna fly over, then kind of enter into a left downwind runway 34, just so people know that I'm gonna be, if they're on the runway for any reason or anything like that, they can get off. Right, 10 degrees of flaps. Right, VREF is set up, lights and inlet are done. If we do need to go around with power up, 20 degrees of flaps, pitch for 73 knots, straight ahead or maneuvers required, reset torque 740 on the ITT. Prop and harness complete, and we'll do SAR on the ground. I'm not seeing any wind right now, so that's good. It hasn't been cut for a little while though. Alright, we want 61 final, 71 on base, and 81 on downwind. Turning downwind, right about a mile out from it. 20 degrees of flaps. Right, turning final, 5,600. I've got 10 knots now. Coming this way, which should be great for takeoff. For landing, it'll kind of push me in, but that's alright because I'm empty and shouldn't have an issue stopping because it should be dry by now. And now we're down to 1 knot. So yeah, winds are just going all over the place today. Right at these little trees, a clump of trees right here, that's a good place to start turning our base. 200 feet more to drop and slow on down to 71 knots now. Alright, full flaps checklist is complete. It looks like we've got
500.
The winds aren't really sure what they're supposed to be doing right now. Right, try to get my speed under control. It's all over the place. Come in a little bit higher than normal just because of those trees. Last time I came awfully close to clipping my gear on them. I'm just coming in a little bit faster. It's a little easier coming at 68 than at 61 in this plane. Right now we're over the trees. And on in. Up. You can never get on the ground. There we go. Looks like they do need to cut it. Anyways, guys, this is Gurumpin. Like I said, if you do want to try some of these flights, yeah, on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 or X-Plane, whatever, got the link below. I post some of these flights. I think I actually have one from here back to Gurumpin, low route, through some cool valleys and stuff. Really, really fun flight. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this short little jump from Aibai. I went up to Hagen and back. I'm not sure if the video is going to quite cover that yet. Anyways, thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Be sure to give me a like if you did enjoy this video, and subscribe if this is the kind of content you enjoy watching. I put out videos twice a week on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So thank you guys. Have a great one. Right, shutting down. I'm going to grab my fuel real quick. We're at 460. Hubs. Down, we're going to turn off our blowers first. Lights off, fuel pump, and everything else, and a V2. Alright guys, have a great one.